It's a funny thing, but too many sweets make you sick. Too much exercise makes you weak. Excess changes the expected effect into its opposite. This market scene by Van Ryck is full of good things. All the fruit and vegetables are clean and glistening. Each one looks like a prize winner, and there is an abundance of everything. It's so full of good things that there is barely any space between them. The foreground table is tilted to enable us to see more of this amazing produce, and in amongst the traditional cabbages, cucumbers and apples are exotic squash, green beans, Jerusalem artichokes and turkeys, all of which originated in the Americas where the Dutch had set up colonies. So as well as showing the viewer all this good food, the painting also celebrates the expansion of the Dutch state and the affluence that colonisation has brought. And at the right-hand edge are fashionable orange carrots, newly bred by Dutch farmers in honour of their prince, Maurice of Orange, and their fight for independence from Spain. And yet, the two figures don't seem to enjoy the situation in which they find themselves. The old man, perhaps a farmer, frowns as he sets down his basket full of squash. The woman with red cheeks leans against the table with her sleeves rolled up. She's hard at work. She leans forward like the farmer, as if she too were carrying a weight on her back. They are hemmed in by the groaning tables. Affluence seems to have brought anxiety rather than content. The excess in the painting becomes oppressive. This is a pattern that repeats. The Paston treasure, made 50 years later by a Dutch artist working in England, also struggles with the sheer amount of stuff. The objects jostle together on the table were the most valuable possessions of Robert Paston, who commissioned the painting. There are Nautilus cups, highly prized in the 17th century, shells, ornate silverware, musical instruments, and a fine Chinese porcelain plate underneath the lobster. As in the Van Ryck, the tabletop is tilted unstably towards the viewer. Once again, there are two figures, a slave or a servant, and a young girl. She looks as though she has been collaged in. There's no space for her chair where it's positioned, and she is lit from the right, while everything else is lit from the left. The sheer proliferation of material goods becomes overwhelming and tiring, while their presence squeezes the space for human action almost completely out of the picture. Andreas Gursky's photo of a 99-cent store shows a version of the same pattern at work. Perspective has been adapted here to produce those long parallel horizontal lines that dominate the picture. The photo shows the treasure of contemporary life, the supermarket shelves stacked high with goods. Though unlike the Dutch still life, there is nothing fresh here. Everything is wrapped in brightly coloured plastic. And unlike the Paston treasure, there is no rarity on display. The whole rationale of these shops is to provide access to and a vision of plenty for the poor. Everyone can afford something from here. The various human figures, dotted in amongst the aisles, almost disappear among the shelves, their movements disciplined and controlled by the disposition of the stock. These images show how excess undermines the extensive message of the picture, turns pleasure into a burden, and limits the space for human action. But artists have also used excess for different ends. Van der Schuur's still life is, in many ways, a conventional vanitas painting, that is, one that reminds viewers of their mortality. It features standard vanitas symbols, like the cut flower, the guttering candle, the old and dog-eared books, the hourglass, and, of course, the skulls. But the skulls are unusual. Most vanitas still lives just include one, while here there are 6. And the symbolic meaning of 6 skulls is the same as the symbolic meaning of one. So in that sense, there's nothing to be gained from repetition and excess. But the excessive number of skulls undercuts the surface meaning of the painting. Each is turned a different way, and the painting is interested in the skull as a physical object more than it is as a symbol. The viewer is invited to examine them in detail as objects in their own right. Without ignoring the reality of death, the painter has used excess to redirect the viewer's meditations so that they aren't dominated by conventional morality, but are led to think about death and life in a new way. Andy Warhol famously said that if you repeat something, the effect goes away. Normally this is understood as Warhol finding a way to produce a kind of numbness in his viewers. This is probably true, but when he repeats an image of an electric chair 6 times, the effect is similar to the skulls. The symbolism and conventional morality associated with capital punishment is undercut by the excess, which then clears a space for fresh thinking about the relation between technology and death, the crudeness of the chair, the anonymity of execution, and any number of other issues. The effect goes away. That is, the conventional response to this object goes away. Excess overturns habits of perception. If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe, or visit my channel Think of a Picture, where you'll find lots more short, thought-provoking videos. Thank you.